Have you ever noticed the pain is gone, but somehow it still lives inside you? You're not in that moment anymore. Those people are not here. That situation is over. And yet, your mind returns to it like a ritual you never chose. Why? In a world where we are taught to hold on to memories, to people, to identity, no one teaches us the cost of attachment. You call it love, loyalty, being real. But what if the very thing you protect is the source of your suffering? Buddhist wisdom whispers something unsettling. You are not hurt by what happened, but by what you refuse to release. So the real question is not, why did this happen to me? It is, why am I still carrying it? Because until you see this clearly, you will keep getting hurt again and again. In this video, you'll uncover why your mind repeats pain, how to break free, and a powerful bonus lesson at the end that changes everything. Stop reliving what is already dead. If the past is already gone, then who is still keeping it alive inside you? Sit with that question, not as a puzzle, but as a mirror. You say life keeps hurting you again and again, but look closely. Is life repeating the pain, or is your mind reopening what has already ended? Memory is harmless until you start living in it. And yet, you return to it like a familiar room, even when it suffocates you. This is the quiet deception. This is how suffering continues without any new wound being created. There is an old image I want you to see clearly. Imagine lighting incense for a fire that has already burned your house to the ground, and then wondering why the smoke still chokes you. The fire is gone. The moment is over. But you keep feeding it. You replay the words, the betrayal, the loss. Not once, but hundreds of times. Tell me honestly, are you remembering or are you re-experiencing it? And if you stopped feeding this memory, would it still have the power to hurt you? The teaching is simple, but not easy. Pain is real in the moment it happens, but suffering is what you continue after the moment has passed. You think you are holding on to the memory, but slowly it begins to hold on to you. It shapes your reactions, your fears, your identity, and without noticing, you start living in a story that no longer exists. So I ask you again, what part of you refuses to let this end? Close your eyes for a moment. Let one painful memory rise, not to analyze it, not to judge it, but simply to observe. Now ask gently, is this happening now, or am I recreating it? Feel the difference. One is reality, the other is repetition. This awareness is the beginning of freedom, because what is seen clearly begins to lose its grip. Here is the turning point most people miss. Letting go is not about forgetting. It is about seeing the truth so deeply that the illusion can no longer survive. The moment you stop reliving it, the chain breaks. Not because the past changed, but because you did. So take responsibility for this inner space. Guard it, train it. Build a mind that does not cling to what is already dead. Because you are not being hurt again. You are remembering without letting go. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "My peace is untouchable." You are addicted to emotional familiarity. Why does your pain feel strangely comfortable? Sit with that honestly. Not every wound stays because it is deep. Some stay because they are familiar. The known pain is chosen over the unknown peace, and without realizing it, you begin to return to the same emotional patterns, the same reactions, even the same kind of people. Not because they are good for you, but because they feel known. This is not weakness. This is conditioning. But if you do not see it clearly, it becomes your silent prison. Look closely at your life. The arguments that feel similar, the disappointments that echo each other, the inner voice that repeats the same fear. You tell yourself you want peace, yet you move toward what keeps hurting you. Why? Because peace is unfamiliar. It has no chaos, no intensity, no emotional noise to cling to. And the mind, trained by repetition, begins to mistake calmness for emptiness. So it runs back to what it recognizes. Are you choosing what is right or what is familiar? It is like a prisoner who refuses to leave the cage, not because the door is locked, but because the outside feels unknown. The cage may hurt, restrict, suffocate, but at least it is predictable. And so you stay. You decorate your suffering. You justify it. You call it part of who you are. But pause for a moment. Who are you without this familiar suffering? If this pain was removed today, would you feel free or lost? Now, gently observe a pattern in your life, not to judge it, but to understand it. A recurring emotion, a repeated disappointment, a cycle you know too well. Ask yourself quietly, does this feel painful or familiar? And if it feels familiar, then see the truth. This is not just happening to you. You are participating in it. This realization may feel uncomfortable, but it is the doorway to change. Here is the shift most people never make. Healing is not just about removing pain. It is about becoming comfortable with peace, and that requires courage. Because peace will feel unfamiliar at first. It will feel quiet, almost empty, but stay with it. Train your mind to rest in what does not hurt. Slowly, the addiction to suffering begins to dissolve, so take responsibility for what you keep returning to. Break the pattern, even if it feels unnatural at first. Because if you don't, you won't just experience pain again. You will recreate it again and again, calling it life, when it is only repetition. 3. Identity is the deepest attachment. What if your suffering continues? Not because it is unavoidable, but because it gives you a sense of who you are. Sit with that carefully. You say, this is what happened to me. This is why I am this way. And slowly, the pain becomes your identity. Not just something you experienced, but something you believe you are. You don't hold the story holds you. And the longer you carry it, the harder it becomes to imagine yourself without it. So tell me honestly, if your pain disappeared today, who would you be tomorrow? There is a subtle attachment here, deeper than any relationship, deeper than any desire. It is the attachment to identity. The mind begins to wear its wounds like armor, layer after layer, until one day it forgets what its own skin feels like. You protect the story, repeat the story, even defend the story, because without it, there is silence. And that silence feels unfamiliar, even frightening. So you hold on, not because it heals you, but because it defines you. Look at the roles you have quietly accepted. The one who was betrayed, the one who was overlooked, the one who always struggles. These identities feel real, but they are constructed from memory, reinforced by repetition. And every time you say, this is just who I am, you tighten the grip of that past around your present. But ask yourself gently, what identity are you protecting? And more importantly, is healing threatening your sense of self? Close your eyes for a moment. Bring one painful event into your awareness. Not the story around it, just the raw moment. Now whisper internally, this happened, but it is not me. Feel the space that opens, a small distance between what occurred and who you are. Stay there, because in that space, something powerful begins to unfold. You realize that the event was real, but the identity built around it is optional. This is where detachment becomes transformative. Not detachment from life, but from the labels you have wrapped around your pain. You are not your worst moment. You are not your past reactions. You are the awareness that can observe all of it, without becoming it. And once you see this clearly, the story begins to loosen its hold. So be honest with yourself. Who are you without your past pain? If the answer feels uncertain, that is not weakness. That is freedom beginning to emerge. Because you are not being asked to lose yourself. You are being invited to meet who you were before the pain defined you. 4. Attachment disguises itself as love. Are you holding on because you love, or because you are afraid of the emptiness that might follow if you let go? Sit with that question without rushing to answer. Sometimes what you call love is not love at all. It is attachment wearing a gentle face. It says, "Stay with me, don't leave me, I need you." But look closely. Attachment says, "I need you." Love says, "I free you." One binds, the other allows. And if you are honest, you can feel the difference in your chest. One feels heavy, the other strangely light. You tell yourself, "I care too much." But often it is not care. It is fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of losing identity. Fear of facing yourself without distraction. So you hold on tighter, thinking it will protect you, but it doesn't. It slowly exhausts you, like gripping sand in your fist. The tighter you hold, the faster it slips away, and when it does, you feel hurt. Not because love failed, but because attachment was never meant to last. Look at your relationships with quiet honesty, the ones you cannot let go of, even when they drain you. The moments where you chase, overthink, wait, and hope, while losing your own peace in the process. Ask yourself gently, is your love rooted in freedom or fear? Because true care does not imprison the other person, and it does not imprison you either. It allows space. It respects distance. It does not beg to be chosen. Now, bring one person to your mind, the one you struggle to release, not to analyze them, not to judge the past, but simply to observe what you feel. And, slowly, imagine this. You wish them peace, not as a performance, but as a quiet truth. You wish them well, without needing them to stay. Feel how uncomfortable that is. Feel how your mind resists it. That resistance is not love. It is attachment loosening its grip. Here is the turning point most avoid. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop controlling. It means you stop tying your peace to someone else's presence. And in that space, something deeper than attachment begins to grow. A love that does not demand, does not cling, does not fear absence. So be honest. What are you afraid will disappear if you let go? And if the answer is your sense of self, your comfort, your identity, then see, clearly, you are not loving. You are holding on to avoid facing yourself, and that is why the pain repeats. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "My peace is untouchable." 5. Control is the illusion that traps you. Why do you suffer more when you try to control everything? Look carefully at your own experience. The more tightly you try to shape life, the more it slips through your hands. You plan, you predict, you replay conversations, you try to manage outcomes, and still something refuses to obey. Control is the mind's attempt to negotiate with reality. And reality does not negotiate, it simply unfolds. So the tension you feel is not life attacking you, it is your resistance colliding with what already is. Notice how subtle this habit is. You try to control how people see you, how they respond, how they stay. You try to control time, outcomes, emotions, even your own thoughts. But control does not create peace. It creates pressure. It tightens your chest, shortens your breath, keeps your mind restless, and slowly, without noticing, you begin to live in constant defense, guarding a version of life that does not exist. So ask yourself honestly, is control bringing you peace, or is it quietly exhausting you? Imagine trying to hold water in a closed fist. The tighter you grip, the less you have. This is how control works. It promises security, but delivers loss, because life is not meant to be held. It is meant to be experienced, and the moment you stop gripping, something unexpected happens. The struggle softens, not because everything becomes perfect, but because you are no longer fighting what cannot be changed. Take one thing you are resisting right now, a situation, a person, an outcome that is not unfolding the way you want. Don't analyze it, don't fix it, just bring it into your awareness and say quietly, let it be as it is. Notice the discomfort. The mind will resist, it will argue, it will try to regain control. But stay with that simple allowance, because in that moment, you are not giving up. You are letting go of unnecessary suffering. Here is the truth most people avoid. You cannot control life, but you can choose how you meet it. And when you stop trying to dominate every outcome, you create space for clarity, for calm, for wiser action. Control narrows your vision, acceptance opens it. So look deeply. What are you trying to control right now? And if you stopped resisting, even for a moment, what would actually happen? You might discover that the tension was never in life itself. It was in your grip. 6. Observation breaks the chain of suffering. What happens when you feel something deeply but refuse to become it? Pause here, because this is where the chain begins to weaken. Usually, when anger rises, you become anger. When sadness appears, you become sadness. There is no space. Only reaction. But what if there was a gap, a quiet distance between the feeling and the one who notices it? What you observe, you no longer are. And this is not philosophy. It is something you can witness within yourself right now. Most people do not suffer because emotions arise. They suffer because they immediately identify with them. A thought appears, I am not enough. And it is believed without question. A wave of fear comes, and suddenly it defines your reality. But emotions are not permanent truths. They are movements passing through, like clouds across the sky. The sky does not chase them. It does not fight them. It simply allows them to pass. So ask yourself quietly, can you observe without reacting? Imagine sitting on the riverbank, watching the current move. The water carries leaves, branches, debris, but you remain seated, untouched. Now, see your thoughts and emotions the same way. Anger comes. Watch it. Sadness rises. Notice it. Do not push it away, and do not cling to it. Just observe. Because the moment you stop jumping into the river, you stop drowning in it. And this is where something shifts inside you. A stillness that was always there begins to reveal itself. Try this gently. When an emotion arises, instead of saying, I am angry, say softly within, this is anger. When sadness comes, whisper, this is sadness. Feel the difference. One binds you to the emotion, the other creates space around it. Stay in that space, even if it feels unfamiliar, because in that space, you are no longer controlled, you are aware. Here is the deeper truth most overlooked. The observer within you has never been hurt, never been broken, never been overwhelmed. It simply watches. And the more you rest in that awareness, the less power your emotions have to control you. So look within. Who is the one noticing all of this? And if you remain as that observer, even for a moment, what changes? You may discover that the suffering was never in the feeling itself. It was in becoming it. Letting go feels like losing yourself. Why does freedom feel like emptiness at first? Sit with that question without escaping it. When you begin to let go of a person, a habit, a story, something inside you becomes quiet, and that quiet does not feel peaceful immediately. It feels unfamiliar, even unsettling. You expected relief, but instead you feel a kind of absence, a gap where something used to be, and the mind quickly interprets this as loss. But look deeper. The space you fear is the space that heals you. You have spent so long filling every corner of your inner world with thoughts, attachments, distractions, that silence now feels like something is missing. But it is not missing. It is revealing. It is like stepping out of a noisy room into a silence so deep it almost echoes. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Your mind searches for something to hold on to, something to define you again. So it whispers, go back, reconnect, refill the space. And this is where most people return to their old suffering. Not because it was better, but because it was familiar. Look closely at this moment of emptiness. Do not label it too quickly. Do not run from it. Because what you call emptiness is actually openness. It is space that has not yet been understood. And within that space, something new can begin, but only if you allow it to remain undisturbed. So ask yourself honestly, what scares you about this emptiness? Is it the silence? Or what the silence might reveal about you? Now try this gently. Sit without distraction. No phone, no noise, no escape. Just you and this quiet space. Feel it fully. Let the discomfort rise if it needs to, but do not move away. Stay, breathe. Notice how the urge to fill the silence begins to soften. And beneath that urge, there is a stillness. Subtle, steady, untouched. This is not loss. This is the ground of clarity. Here is the turning point. Letting go does not remove who you are. It removes what you are not. And what remains may feel unfamiliar at first because it is not built on attachment or fear. It is simpler, quieter, more real. So be honest with yourself. Are you avoiding this silence within you? And if you allowed yourself to stay here just a little longer, what could grow in this space? Because the freedom you seek does not come by filling the emptiness. It comes by understanding it. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "My peace is untouchable." Pain persists because it is unfinished. What if your pain is not staying because it is strong, but because it was never fully felt? Sit with that, without turning away. Many times, you do not heal because you rush to move on too quickly. You distract yourself, you explain it away. You try to stay positive. But something underneath remains unfinished. It waits, quietly, patiently. What you suppress returns, what you face dissolves. And so the same feeling comes back, again and again. Not to punish you, but to be completed. You think you have let it go, but in truth, you have only avoided it. The moment it becomes uncomfortable, you shift your attention. You scroll, you talk, you sleep. But the emotion does not disappear. It stays, like an unopened letter placed on your table. You may ignore it for days, even years. But it does not leave. It waits for you to open it, and until you do, it will keep calling you back. So ask yourself honestly, what emotion have you been avoiding? Look at your patterns, the sudden waves of sadness, the unexplained irritation, the heaviness that comes without warning. These are not random. They are echoes of something you did not allow yourself to feel fully, because feeling deeply can be uncomfortable. It can shake your sense of control. It can expose parts of you that you would rather keep hidden. But avoiding it does not protect you. It prolongs you. Now try this with courage. Let one emotion rise, not to analyze it, not to fix it, but to feel it completely. Stay with it as it moves through your body. Notice where it sits, your chest, your throat, your stomach. Breathe into it. Do not label it as good or bad. Just allow it. You may feel intensity at first, even resistance. But if you remain present, something begins to shift. The emotion softens, it moves, it changes. Because its nature was never to stay, only to pass. Here is the truth most people resist. Pain is not asking to be fixed immediately. It is asking to be noticed, to be felt, without interruption. And when you finally allow that, the hold it had on you starts to fade. Not because you forced it to go away, but because you gave it the attention it needed to complete itself. So be honest. Is your pain asking to be fixed or simply felt? And if you stopped resisting it, even for a moment, what would it show you? You may find that what you feared most was not the pain itself, but how deeply you can face it. 9. You are not your thoughts. If your thoughts create so much suffering, why do you trust them so easily? Sit with that question, not to answer fast, but to observe. A thought appears, I am not enough. They will leave. This will fail. And instantly, your body becomes tense. Your mood changes. Your actions follow. You rarely question it. You just believe it. But pause for a moment. Not every thought deserves your belief. And still, you treat each one as truth, as if your mind never misleads you. Look closely at how thoughts work. They come without asking, shaped by past experiences, fears, conditioning. They repeat again and again until they sound true. And slowly, you start living inside them. But a thought is not reality. It is a mental event, passing through awareness, like clouds acting as the sky, but never truly becoming it. The sky stays wide, untouched, and so do you. So ask yourself honestly, do you question your mind, or do you follow it? Notice the pattern. The same thoughts that hurt you yesterday return today, with the same voice, the same certainty. They tell you stories about who you are, about what will happen, about what others think of you. And without noticing, you start building your identity around these inner whispers. But tell me, which of these thoughts have really given you peace? Which ones have guided you toward clarity instead of confusion? Now, try something simple but powerful. Sit quietly and watch a thought appear. Do not chase it. Do not push it away. Just notice it as you would notice a sound passing by, and gently say inside, this is just a thought, not truth. Feel the change. A small gap appears. The thought is still there, but it no longer controls you the same way. Stay with that gap, because this is where freedom begins. Here is the deeper truth most people miss. You are not the voice in your head. You are the awareness that hears it. And once you see this clearly, the power of your thoughts starts to weaken. They still come, but they no longer define you. They no longer control your peace. So, look within. Which thoughts keep hurting you? And why do you keep trusting them without question? If you stopped believing every thought, even for a moment, who would you be? You may find that the suffering was never in life itself. It was in the stories your mind kept telling you, and you kept believing. True detachment is deep sensitivity. Can you feel everything without being controlled by anything? Sit with this, because it challenges what you think detachment means. You may think detachment is cold, distant, disconnected, but that is not truth. It is avoidance. Real detachment is not the absence of feeling, it is the control of it. Detachment is not distance, it is freedom within closeness. You stay open, present, fully alive, yet nothing controls you from inside. Look at how you usually respond to emotion. When love comes, you hold on. When pain comes, you resist. When joy appears, you fear losing it. Every feeling pulls you in some direction, and slowly, your peace becomes dependent on what you feel. But what if you could experience all of it without losing your center? What if you could love deeply without needing to hold? Feel sadness without becoming it? This is the shift. This is where detachment becomes strength, not escape. Imagine the ocean. Waves rise, crash, disappear, yet the depth stays still. The surface moves, but the core remains calm. This is how your inner life can be. Emotions will come, strong, beautiful, painful, but they do not have to define you. They can pass through, while something deeper in you stays steady. So ask yourself honestly, do you confuse detachment with numbness? Or are you ready to discover a way of feeling that does not trap you? Now, try this in a simple moment. When you talk to someone, be fully there. When you feel something, allow it fully. Do not hold back, but also do not hold on. Notice how you can care without clinging, how you can be present without fear. It may feel small at first, but this awareness changes everything. Because you are no longer reacting without thinking, you are responding with awareness. Here is the deeper truth most people miss. Detachment is not about stepping away from life. It is about stepping into it without chains. You do not need to protect yourself by becoming less sensitive. You become free by becoming more aware. So reflect deeply. Can you feel without holding on? What would it look like to experience love, pain, joy, all of it, without losing your inner balance? Because the goal is not to escape emotion, it is to stay free within it. And when you reach that point, something quiet and strong appears. You are no longer afraid of what you feel, because nothing inside you can take you away from yourself. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "My peace is untouchable." 11. Becoming untouchable is inner mastery. What does it mean to become untouchable? Not by avoiding life, but by understanding it so deeply that nothing can shake you. Sit with this carefully, because most people try to protect themselves by pulling back, by numbing, by building walls. But walls do not create freedom, they create isolation. True untouchability is different. It is not about escaping the world, it is about seeing through it. Nothing can disturb a mind that does not hold on. And the moment you stop holding on, the world loses its power over you. Look at what still disturbs you: a word from someone, a memory, an expectation not met. These things affect you, not because they are strong, but because something inside you holds on to them. You react, you replay, you carry, and slowly your peace becomes fragile, depending on everything going your way. But ask yourself honestly, are you reacting or responding? Because reaction is automatic, it pulls you instantly. Response is awareness. It gives you space to choose. Imagine the sky during a storm: thunder, lightning, heavy rain, all of it intense, loud, overwhelming. But the sky itself stays untouched. It does not resist the storm. It does not hold on to clear weather. It allows everything and remains vast. This is the nature of a calm mind. Thoughts, emotions, events, they are the weather. You are the space where they appear. So tell me, what still has power over your peace, and why? Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself not as a body, not as a story, but as open space, still, without limits. Now let an emotion arise: anger, fear, sadness. See how it moves within you, like weather passing through the sky. Do not block it, do not hold it, just let it move. Feel the difference. The emotion is there, but it does not take over you. This is what it means to be untouchable, not because nothing happens, but because nothing stays. Here is the deeper truth. Inner mastery is not about controlling life, it is about no longer being controlled by it. When you stop holding on to outcomes, to identities, to emotions, you become steady in a way the world cannot shake. Not rigid, not cold, but quietly strong. So reflect deeply. What would an unshakable mind feel like? Not a mind without emotion, but a mind that is no longer controlled by it. Because when you reach that place, something powerful happens. You move through life fully, openly, and nothing can take your peace away from you again. Bonus. The final illusion. You think you need closure. What if the closure you keep looking for is the very thing keeping you stuck? Sit with that without rushing to defend your need for answers. You tell yourself, I just need to understand why it happened. I just need one last conversation, one final clarity. But look deeper. Is it really understanding you want, or relief from the discomfort of not knowing? Peace comes not from answers, but from letting go. And yet you keep waiting, as if peace will come only after everything makes sense. Notice how the mind behaves. It goes over the past again and again, searching for a perfect explanation. It builds scenarios, imagines conversations, tries to finish what feels incomplete. But life does not always give clear endings. Some doors stay open, some questions stay unanswered. And here is the quiet truth. Your suffering does not come from lack of closure. It comes from your refusal to move without it. So ask yourself honestly, what are you waiting to understand before letting go? It is like standing in front of a door, waiting for it to close fully when you could simply walk away. The door may never close the way you want. The explanation may never come. The apology may never arrive. And while you wait, life keeps moving without you. This is the trap. Closure feels like progress, but often it is just another form of attachment. Attachment to certainty, to answers, to control over how things should end. Now, try something that may feel uncomfortable, almost unnatural. Bring to mind something unresolved in your life, a conversation left incomplete, a situation without answers. And instead of chasing it, say quietly inside, I allow this to stay unresolved. Feel the resistance. The mind will push back. It will demand clarity. But stay with that acceptance, because in that moment you are choosing freedom over explanation. Here is the turning point. You do not need to understand everything to move forward. You only need to stop holding on to what no longer helps you. Closure is not something life gives you. It is something you create by letting go. So, reflect deeply. Is closure really freeing you, or is it delaying your peace? And if you stopped waiting for answers, even for a moment, could you move forward anyway? Because the truth is simple, but not easy. You are not stuck because you lack closure. You are stuck because you believe you need it to be free. Quick summary of the principles. The journey of detachment begins when you realize you are reliving what is already over. Your mind is not just remembering, it is recreating pain, and until you break this pattern, the past will keep entering the present. You stay stuck because pain feels familiar, and familiarity feels safer than unknown peace, creating an unconscious habit of emotional cycles you say you want to escape. Over time, this pain becomes your identity, and you start believing that what happened to you defines who you are, making it harder to let go because releasing it feels like losing yourself. What you call love often hides attachment, where fear of emptiness keeps you holding on, while your need for control increases suffering instead of reducing it, showing that resistance is the real source of tension. Freedom begins when you learn to observe emotions without becoming them, creating space between you and your reactions. But this space at first feels like emptiness, which most people misunderstand and avoid. Even though it is the doorway to peace. Pain continues not because it is strong, but because it has not been fully felt and released, while your thoughts keep controlling your reality simply because you believe them without question. True detachment is not numbness, but the ability to feel deeply without losing control, leading to inner stability where nothing outside controls your state. In the end, becoming untouchable means mastering your inner world, where peace is no longer based on circumstances, and the final illusion fades when you stop waiting for closure and understand that true freedom comes from choosing to let go without needing answers. Detachment is not something you practice once, it is something you remember again and again every time life tries to pull you back into old patterns. The truth is, suffering does not come from what happens to you. It comes from what you keep holding long after it is over. Zen philosophy teaches a quiet but powerful truth. The moment you stop holding on, the moment you become free, not because the world changes, but because you no longer depend on it for your peace. In the end, It is not the pain that defines you, it is your willingness to release it. So do not wait for the perfect moment, do not wait for closure, apologies, or understanding. Just begin, quietly, inside, by loosening your hold on what no longer helps you, and as you move forward, carry this question with you. If nothing outside of me has the power to disturb my peace, what am I still holding on to? If this connected with you, take a moment to like and share this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice might help someone else wake up. And do not forget to subscribe to Deep Wisdom for more powerful Buddhist insights on living a peaceful, grounded, and aware life.